In today's unboxing, we take a look at Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities, 2nd edition by Chip Theory Games. Let's take a look.
There are hobbyists among us, geniuses with the ability to play any game they want to. In 1978, a corporation known as The Interior isolated a young hobbyist named John and exploited his genius for their entertainment.
Then one day, their hobbyist ran away. Here we have Hoplomachus, The Lost Cities. It is the 2nd edition game by Chip Theory Games, designed by Adam and Josh Carlson. Go ahead. And one of the things that I do like about this is that it has so many different play options. The solo player versus arena, the co-op, 2 or 3 players versus the arena, or of course head to head. That is very cool. Lots of different play styles in here. Then we have, of course, our contents in the box. Again, the player count, and because they offer you so much stuff, not only do they say 1 to 3 players, but then they actually go into a little more detail what that might be. For ages 12 up, with an average play time of 30 to 60 minutes. Here we have what the board looks like. And then, of course, a little bit of lore to go on with that. Very cool. The arena has some new competitors. Legendary cities from the far reaches of the earth are sending emissaries to Rome. Each represent an advanced civilization with warrior types, skills, and tactics unknown to the empire. Rome reacts quickly and issues a challenge. It reads, "Gather your elite, your best champion and fighters. Set your strategies to work and join us. Battle in the arena and prove to the world you are worthy of its notice." 3 cities have responded, and you are one of them. Go head to head with another lost city, or compete together against the arena itself. Use gladiators with unique abilities and tactics to impress the crowd and gain its favor. Bold moves and daring plays could be the difference between victory and defeat. Are you up for the challenge? It's time to find out. Well, this sounds super interesting. I can't wait to dive into this and see how it actually plays out and goes. Some of the things that I found kind of interesting just reading the lore was the whole play head-to-head with another lost city. So I'm guessing that's how it goes with the player versus player, where you would each choose one of the 3 lost cities. Or if you were to play... and that's probably why it is up to 3 in the co-op, because there are 3 lost cities in here. But then you can play your lost city against the arena. One thing that I think would be interesting that I don't know is if you were actually able to play as the Romans themselves, if that is a potential army of choice. Because I don't know how in-depth all of these things are, but to me, that would make this especially cool, is if you can play the 1 versus arena and have it be your team versus any of the 3, or versus Rome, or even where you play Rome, the Rome side against this. That I don't know. We'll have to crack it open and take a look. But I love the idea and all of this potential here. And of course, since this game has been out for so long, there has been 2 other complete expansions and tons of extra lost cities that have been added to the fray. So there is lots of content for this game. I do believe it was their first crowdfunded on Kickstarter game back in 2012. And I think this is what started the whole Chip Theory Games. One thing that you will definitely see that I have grown a company to with Chip Theory Games is the quality of their stuff. And I can already see it just here within the box alone. It seems very sturdy. I'm not feeling any little air pockets in the box. Nothing special, no overlays or anything. But again, this was back in 2012 and that really wasn't that big of a thing as of yet. Well, let's go ahead and crack it open and take a look inside to see what we have. Alright, well up first, of course, like usual, we have our instruction manual for 1 to 3 players ages 12 plus. Now one thing that would be interesting to see is if as they added on the different expansion cities or whatever, because this is 1 to 3 because you're limited with the 3 lost cities that are in here. Once they started adding in extra lost cities, do they also potentially add up the player count? Can you now go 4, 5, 6, 7, so forth and so on? That would be very interesting. So by the looks of it, we have Atlantis, Xanadu, El Dorado, and the arena chips themselves. Bosses, beasts, very cool. So like I said, again, I'm hoping, and I don't know, I'd have to look, I'm hoping that there is going to be a Rome city, because I want to play as Rome. That'd be so cool. So we have all of our dice. We have our reference cards, the game mat, 3 bags, a flip chip, very cool. Extra city chips. And then the glossary, the goal. A player must eliminate the opponent's champion to win. If you are playing a solo or co-op game, you must eliminate all arena bosses while keeping all champions alive. Wow. Now that adds while keeping all champions alive? That sounds ridiculous. Okay. So that's maybe not so bad, because here, by the looks of it, they have their boss, and your champion is probably on the level of the boss. So these are the guys we're probably going to need to keep alive. These are the ones that can die. Okay, so it's not too bad. I love the print here of the manual. Good illustration, good art, so you can see everything that's going on. Actual pictures of the components. This is huge. It really helps, especially here with these ones, so I can very easily see, okay, my Atlantis has the blue, Xanadu, by the looks of it, has black, yellow. That looks like it's black again, so that may be a little unfortunate. But here, this one looks gray. So is it black or gray? I don't know. We'll have to look. But I like, you can see everything in there, so you can see exactly what is what. And then a breakdown of the chip itself, because again, they use chips instead of cards here, or instead of miniatures, so they put a ton of information here on this chip. So this is nice. One thing that I think I would personally like that I don't see in here is, especially with their newer games like the Too Many Bones line, they have really good quality cards where they're like plastic cards. I would love to just have this right here as a reference card that you can keep next to you. After you've got a couple games under your belt, you probably don't need it, but for learning purposes and everything, if this was as a card, that would be so awesome. The different phases, crowd favor, that's cool. So as you're playing, you might want to do things because you don't want to make them like or dislike you. And then by the looks of it, they have different hit dice. I'm guessing they go for levels of power. I'm guessing the black are your most powerful die, the blue would be your medium, and your yellows are your weak. And by the looks of it, it goes by the number of hits that the dice has. So the yellow, by the looks of it, has the least likely of rolling a hit. Yep. 2 out of the 6 are a hit. 3 out of the 6 are a hit. 5 out of the 6 are a hit. So yeah, so that's how those work. Very cool. Arena unlocks. I love the size of the font here. Especially as you get a little older. you know, a good readable size font is wonderful. Now, one of the things I do like about their newer games is how much lore they've added in. Of course, since this was the beginning, there's not as much here. I would absolutely love if they were to go back to Hoplomachus and come up with a illustration book or a lore book and put a little more lore, a little more background into all of this. I would buy that up in a heartbeat, absolutely. And then a nice little reference card. This again would be another one of those items that I would absolutely love, because in like say Cloudspire, they have that full page reference for the different factions, you know, or like here. But if they had this as a card that you can have out there, so you don't actually have to have the paper book. But I digress. I do like what I see. Okay, up next we have our Civilization cards. Let's go ahead and open that up and take a look. Let's see what we have here. So, okay. There we have Xanadu. And they're probably special abilities. That is cool. Atlantis. So again, here we have a little bit of added lore, a little bit of extra. And like I said, as they have gone on, they've just added and added and added to that. I would love for them to go back and really go into detail on those. And then the arena itself. Very cool. And then one of the things that I found kind of interesting here is here we have our play mat, and again, being that this is the second edition, it does have the edge stitching. Very cool. I love that. But then they have added room, so as you add on expansions, because they have had an expansion mat, and then of course with one of the games there's another whole mat, so you can incorporate them into one box. But just looking at this, I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, because they've given you room to put their expansion mat that they've done, to put their new mat for the new expansion, but to me it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of room for extra chips. I mean, I could, you know, because here, if it's taking up 3 just to do the Lost Cities in here, because maybe you can put 2 here. It sure does look like they'd fall into there in that little crevice. I don't know. But so maybe it's 1, 2, 3. Maybe there's room. That'll be an interesting experiment. Now here's something interesting. 2 little tokens, because I do not remember seeing this on the what's included. No, see, so I don't know what those are for, because it's definitely not in the components section. And then, so then we have our dice. Okay. And then just a standard 6-sided. Actually, let's go ahead. I'm betting those are supposed to go there. And then a red. Just a red standard. There we go. And then our yellow with the 2 hits. So most of those are blank. So yeah. So the hits are on opposite sides of each other, and then all the blanks. And then the medium with 3 hits. So where are those? So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I like that. Now they do make premium dice. I might have to try to get the premium dice. And those, I believe, they're all metal dice, and I think the inlet, the H's, are then black, yellow, or blue. And then so here we have where all sides are H except for the 1, so it's a 5 out of 6 chance. Very cool. And then I believe it says 3 bags. So 1, 2, 3. What these are used for, I have no idea. Maybe you're supposed to put your chips in here and maybe you draw them out randomly? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we have 3 nice bags. Let's see here. Let's pull them out. Nothing is written on it. This looks like the bag in one of my promo kits. There was a bag. I'll have to compare to see if that's the same bag. There. For me, it's a little small for my hand to fit in. So I hope that the intention isn't to shake it up and go in there and draw one. Because for me, they're just a little small. But, you know, I do have big mitts. Very cool. All right. And then our mat. Now this I will probably have to zoom out so I can throw this completely on the table so you can see it all. And then we can actually almost see it. So go ahead and pull this out. Move our Civilization cards. There we go. So I like the play area. I mean, that's not too big, doesn't take up too much space. Definitely doable. Though by the looks of it, the idea, because I mean, it looks like you're supposed to look at it this way, so I'm guessing you're supposed to have it there, but no, because there's interesting. So that I'm a little on the fence on, because I don't want to have to change my orientation to be able to see the different things. So here, I mean, this is clearly to be read here, but then this is read this way, and then this is read this way. I don't know about that one. Very interesting. I like it though, the quality here of this neoprene mat, and especially with this edge stitching, that I absolutely love. Very cool. Alright. And then next we have 100 of these health chips. And these are their lower quality. I believe they have the same health chips for all games. I think. I don't know. I'll have to go check. And they do come up. They do have premium health. And both this one only came with red chips, and I know there are both red and blue premium chips. So I'm wondering if on the expansions if they have added blue for whatever reason blue might be. I don't know. And then we have our cities. One and oh my lord, you can immediately. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. You're just feeling it. There definitely is a higher quality to these over these. To me the premium chips are definitely going to be the way to go. Oh. And then I found a green. That was also just in the box while I was pulling out these chips. So there are 3 of these. So it looks like there's 1 for each race. Or each of the lost cities. So it'll be interesting to see if again, on the expansions or whatever, if they have additional tokens. Well, let's go ahead and crack these open and take a look at the different city chips. Well, here we have our chips for the game. Xanadu, Eldorado, Atlantis, the Arena, the Tactics, and then the Flip chip. And one thing that I did want to point out while I have the book right here, I was wrong here. 3 favor counters. So those must be those 3 glass beads that we did find in the box. So they are in there. I just wasn't expecting it like that. Let's go ahead and start the simplest. There's our flip chip. How to get the reflection out. There we go. From my light. And then the tactics. So alright, let's see here. Let's change this up a little bit. Well, here we have our tactic chips. Go through these. Here are the arena chips with their back. Here's our first one. And second. Here are our Atlantis chips. Our first pull. And then, of course, we have the Atlantis chip itself. And I believe something that I missed is one of them. Where are you? There you are. One right here, probably our champion, is double-sided. Up next we have the El Dorado Lost City with its double-sided El Dorado chip. And then it's double-sided, I'm guessing, championship, but I don't know yet. And I definitely love the sound of these as they're just dropping onto itself. I mean, you can definitely just hear the quality in the chips. And here we have Xanadu with their Xanadu chip, which is the same on both sides. And then their champion chip with his reverse. Well, that is everything for Hoplomachus, the Lost City. I hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if this is something you would be interested in. I know I can't wait to dive into the rules to figure out how this is played and get a couple games under my belt. Well, until next time, guys, I'll see you later.